Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Anne, and on my channel, I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review Nevertheless, and today we're in episode 6. We've been reviewing one episode once a week. We're getting one episode a week. Nevertheless is a South Korean series. What did we learn in episode 6? So I'm glad that they're kind of starting to explain more of why Park Jae-un acts the way he does. In this episode, or this section, I'm sorry, they show he's watching Nambi in a dance class, and he alludes to the fact that he loves relationship when they're at a distance. So it gives us the feeling that he is almost like he's scared to put everything in. And it almost gives you a feeling that he's scared of getting hurt. And we all know love is always a risk, right? You put your heart out for someone and you hope they take it and are gentle with it, or sometimes they drop it and you get hurt. So I think his mechanism of protecting himself is, as long as they're far away, I don't get hurt. So that's why I guess he always draws the line when he gets close to girls. And that's why they always say these girls around him, but he doesn't have a girlfriend. So that was interesting. I thought that was an interesting section that they showed, that at least it explains his weird behavior, because it was getting to be frustrating. I also love this scene where he goes to visit his mom, and it sounds like his mom is a performer who travels around the world. I guess just came from Paris, and they're talking about how he would love to go see Paris. And actually, I think he alludes to the fact that he has a good friend who would like to go to Paris, who is Nambi. But I thought it was interesting that the mom says to him, you know, the reason why I never had anybody love me is because I was not honest with my feelings. So it's harder for somebody to love you if you're not honest with who you are and how you feel about the other person, which I thought that was very eye-opening, because you can see Park Ji-young's character be like, oh, yeah, that explains. Like, it's almost like, look, man, you want to love someone, you've got to go in, you got to dive in. There's no such thing as I only give you this much and I keep this much, right? So I thought that was very interesting, which makes sense to the end of the episode when he goes looking for Nambi. So what happens is Nambi is like, my head is messed up, I can't think straight, it's almost like I need a break, turns her phones off and goes home, goes to visit her aunt, who's got this pottery store. And it was kind of nice that they really got into a heart-to-heart talk, where she was talking about her mom and how her mom dates all these different kind of guys, and really she's not into that. And her aunt is like, well, the one thing you can't blame her for is, you know, putting her all out there. And you can say they're all mistakes, but out of all the many guys she dated, you came. You are one of the product of all the many guys she dated. So you can't say it's all bad. At least we can give it to her for always giving her 100%. Now, the relationships may not all work out, but you can't not blame her for giving her all. I love that once she's back home, she meets up with Do-hyuk. We learn more that obviously we knew that they grew up together, but that obviously he always had a crush on her, and actually tells her. And actually they talk about how the day she was leaving, he didn't show up. And she was like, why didn't you come to say goodbye? And then he says, you know, he found out that she had a boyfriend, because that day he was gonna confess that he liked her. But then once he found that out, he was just like, let me just stay away. So anyway, Nambi's pretty like upset, like, what? Actually, turns out she just said that so that guys would stop pursuing her, but she really didn't have a boyfriend. So I thought that was interesting, and I just love that they gave us more of Do-hyuk and Nambi's relationship. I love that he's straightforward. He says his feelings. He's cooking for her. He's just that nice guy. They got to hang out. They went to the market. They rode bikes. They took pictures. They're camping by the ocean. I mean, so romantic, right? So romantic. So Nambi definitely is gonna have to make a decision which way she's gonna go. Do you go with the guy who is like rock solid, or do you go with the guy who may not be 100% on his feelings, but is like your crush, where you're just like so crazy that sometimes you don't think straight, right? Now, they did show us a little bit of Obitna's character and Nam Gyu-hyun's character, which I'm sorry, but that frustrated me. She's like, she wants to date him, but she doesn't want to be exclusive because they're hanging out clearly, and she's getting phone calls from guys. And he's like, you do realize now that you're in a relationship with me, it's inappropriate for you to be getting phone calls from other guys. And then she ends up having an attitude like, see, I knew you'd be boring and clingy. Like, why? Almost like he's asking too much to say, now that we're together, we should be exclusive. But she gets really upset and actually storms out. Oh, she's so frustrating. Immature. Because we all know girls who do this, right? You almost like Park Jae-on, like you all don't want to commit 100%, but we all know what's gonna happen, right? She's gonna still try to be like, oh, I wanna be with you, but then I wanna flirt with other guys, and then in the end, you're gonna come back crying to him. Now, here's to hoping that the next time you come back crying, he's gonna want to take you back, or he may be like, no, you're too much trouble. That's the risk you run. You run when you do that. So that was a little frustrating. Here's another part that was also frustrating. So Yeon Sol gets invited to dinner by this nice guy who likes her clearly, and he's thinking, oh, we're gonna have a good lunch and get to know each other. What does she do? Brings her clingy best friend, who, by the way, this girl is in love with this one, because the way she's so possessive of her is just, at this point, it's a little weird and creepy. Like, you can't let your best friend go out to lunch with the friend. Like, you don't want her to date guys. What is it? Like, it used to be like, girl, let me help you get dressed up. You're going on a date, and then call me later and let me know how your date went. No, she wants to be on the date. So the dude is like, oh, when I invited you to lunch, I didn't think you're bringing your friend with you. Almost like, hello, buy a clue. Like, this would have been the time to be like, girl, I love you, girl. I'll call you later. I'll see you later, right? No, they insist on staying. And then Yoon Sol acts like, huh? She's got that, like, really, really? You didn't know why you're being invited to lunch. And you just thought you can bring anybody else to lunch. What? Like, stop playing dumb and just say, you know what? I'm not interested, and don't go to lunch. But this is, like, misleading. So there's a lot of immaturity going on with dating over here. But obviously they're young. That's what happens when you're young. When you get older, you learn this doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. You state what you want. Okay, if you like the guy, then go all in. If you don't waste his time showing up with your best friend to lunch. If you're not interested, then just say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, and save the dude the money. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that also was very interesting. So it'd be interesting to see eventually if these two end up together, or is she gonna be like, look, I know you're my friend, but you're too clingy, and we need to establish boundaries of being best friends or become a couple. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. So episode 6 ends with this. So what they show in episode 6 is obviously when Nambi takes the week, she's out there, she's turned off her phone. He's trying to, Park Jae-un is trying to get a hold of Nambi, and she's not answering anything. So he finds out where she is and obviously decides to show up. So to me, I'm getting the feeling like, okay, maybe I do need to go more in instead of, pushing her away when she's trying to get closer. And then obviously it doesn't help that when he shows up, Dae-hyuk is there with her. Hello, jealousy, okay? Nothing like a motivator, like jealousy, of course. Jae-hoon is gonna be jealous. And so it ends here when they're saying hello to each other. And I can't wait to see what happens in episode 7, because here's to hoping Jae-hoon starts to grow up a little bit and be like, look, I'm gonna have to be all in or all out, because when you leave the door open, others walk in. You see, Do-hyuk is right there to walk right in, and he is all in. Okay, he's not like Jae-hoon, who's like, I like her, I'm gonna keep a distance, I don't like her. So he is to watching episode 7 to see what happens to them. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you do like it. Subscribe, it does help my channel. And I'll see you next week when I review episode 7. Deuces.